What's up, brothers? Hope everyone's doing well out there. I'm out here chilling on a cold winter day. You might notice none of these trees have any leaves on them. But here in about 2.5 to 3 months, they'll be covered in leaves. So fear not. Not sure why I just told you that, but we always got to have some type of an intro. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about in tonight's video is a subject that I've thought about quite a bit over the course of the last few years, but I've never gotten around to it. So you could say I've been saving it for today. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because a really popular subject that I'll hear people talking about out there is the subject that when you stop chasing, results start coming. Or when you stop chasing a woman, all of a sudden her interest in you goes up. Something of that nature. When you stop chasing, she starts caring. You see a lot of these titles, you know what I'm talking about. And I wanted to share my 2 cents on this subject because I think there's a lot of misdirection in that statement, and I don't think very many people actually go into depth and really explain what actually goes on here. So this might be a little bit brutal for some of you guys. It might be a little bit of a wake-up call, but sometimes we all need a wake-up call. Better to get a wake-up call by watching a video than it is to get smacked in the face with it in real life. But then again, sometimes you have to go through some pretty serious shit if you want to change, so if you'd rather go through it in real life, be my guest. Anyways, here's the first thing that you need to understand. There is no meaningful difference between chasing and stalking. Okay? This is the dark side of it that nobody really wants to cover. There is literally no meaningful difference between chasing and stalking. Stalking might mean you're being a little bit more discreet, a little bit more sneaky about it, but they both mean the same thing. Now, in order to understand what a woman is going through when you're chasing her, you would have to have been chased yourself. Some guys out there will know what I'm talking about. Some guys won't. But if you've ever been chased by a woman, you'll know it's not a pleasant experience. Let me explain. Let's create a story here. Let's say that you go on a dating app and you meet a woman that you're semi-attracted to. You exchange phone numbers and, you text back and forth. You go on a few dates, whatever. You're talking for a few weeks, couple months. And all of a sudden, you have decided that you're not interested. You didn't decide, it's not a decision, but you've lost interest, right? It's just gone. So you want to back out, right? You want to just kind of flake out, ghost, just sort of stop responding to her texts. That's what you want to do because you're not interested. You just think, hopefully this can be easy. We can just stop talking and, we won't have any problems. But she decides to chase. She's interested in you, maybe a little delusional, so she decides to start chasing you. Now, she may not realize that what she's doing is wrong. She hasn't really justified it in her own mind, but it definitely is. So let's say she knows what gym you go to, or maybe you go to a bar. She knows your favorite bar. She knows certain places that you like to go. Or she has met some of your friends, so, she's trying to hang out with your friends or something. But let's just go with the gym. That's the easiest way to make this story. Let's say you go to the gym and she knows what gym you go to. And in her mind, she rationalizes this by saying, you know what, we've been growing apart. So I'm going to get a membership at his gym. And I'm going to put effort into being more his type. Right? I'm going to do this so it can bring us closer together. Right? She's chasing you. In her mind, it seems normal. It doesn't seem like she's stalking or she's doing anything unusual. She's just trying to be closer to you. Well, now the place that you love to go, a place that is sacred to you, it's your place of meditation. Now is a place where you have to see somebody that you've basically already broken up with and that you don't want to see anymore. And you see them every day. And they're always trying to bump into you and talk to you. And they want to text you. And they want to reach out and ask how you're doing. And you want nothing to do with them. You've made it pretty clear that you want nothing to do with this girl. Well, now the place that used to be your favorite place in the world to go to is now a place that you dread going to. You despise going there. You hate it. Because you're being chased. That might be a little bit over dramatic, but if you've been through it, you know what I'm talking about. And it can be even more frustrating because even though you have not really done anything wrong, this person shows up where you're at, and all of a sudden you're like angered by it, right? It's like, why do you have to be here? And they turn it around like you're the one that's being rude. You know, you're being immature or whatever. Like they try to use this blame shifting, blame game on you. Maybe they even turn around and call you a narcissist or an avoidant attachment style, fearful avoidant or some shit like that. Right? Well, that's the type of delusion that goes on when somebody is chasing. Now, that might have been a long-winded story, but a lot of men out there, tons of men. Some men are handsome, chads. Some men are average, whatever. But there are a lot of men out there that severely lower their own value, lower their own appeal to the opposite sex because they're chasing and they're doing shit like that. And it doesn't have to be the gym or a bar or the person's friends. It could just be you texting this person all the time, calling them, blowing their phone up all the time, always trying to, they've turned you down 4 times in a row, rejected you for 4 dates in a row, but you keep asking. You're chasing, and maybe they love being on their phone, but now they hate being on their phone because every time they look at it, you're texting them. You're calling them. It's like you're always watching them. You're always thinking about them. Again, no meaningful difference between chasing and stalking. Even though you may not be a stalker. You can look at yourself, maybe you look at yourself at some point and you say, what in the fuck am I doing? I'm not a stalker. Why am I acting like one, right? And then you wake up and you realize like you've been making a fool of yourself. Anytime you're chasing a woman, that's what's taking place, and that's ultimately going to be the end of the road. Here's the thing. Now, a lot of guys will say, well, what can I do? Here's what you can do. Okay? You can meet women, you can approach them, you can be on dating apps, you can meet them however you want to meet them. And if they're not expressing interest in you at the same level that you're expressing interest in them, it's always best to take a step back, let them reach out to you, and if they ask why you've been so quiet or whatever, say, well, it just didn't seem like you were really putting much effort into this. So I took a step back. You know, and that's kind of how the game is played. It's a natural push-pull. It's not a game. It's not necessarily a game. You're not playing games. You're letting it happen naturally, and that's how the natural game is played. And if it's not happening naturally, then you're going to enter the realm of chasing. And that's a really bad look. Imagine what she's going to be saying to her friends, her family. Imagine how it's going to make you look. Imagine if this is a girl you work with and you're chasing her. Imagine what everybody else is seeing when you're doing this. Not a good look. Embarrassing. You don't want to let that happen. You know, I think the natural dynamic, the most common dynamic that should take place between a man and a woman, and this is the formula that seems to be foolproof and it works 100% of the time. As a man, you should have a very high physical or sexual attraction to the woman that you're pursuing, but you should have a fairly low emotional investment. And as the two of you get to talking, your sexual attraction to her should be maintained at a high level, and she should be the one sort of chasing the emotionalism, chasing the connection. You know, not chasing you, but chasing some sort of a connection. You know, and you should have this natural flow of masculinity and femininity, and that's what you call courting. There's a difference between chasing and courting. Courting means the two of you like each other and you're getting to know each other. Chasing means you like the person and you just keep trying to get with them. There's a big difference. But I think I'll go ahead and shut this one off. No need to ramble on anymore, and I hope this video was somewhat informative. And that's about it for today, guys. Until next time, see ya.